again for another day of the Ultimate Fight Series, day 39 to be exact. What we're going to do, we're just going to crack straight on into it. We're just going to carry on. But first, we have the roll call. A lovely, gorgeous cup of tea. We also have a lovely cup of water. Fabulous. Oh, and we've also got a drink bottle to refill my glass of water with. And that's it for today. No food, unfortunately, but I do have some news on the food front. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. So first off, I'm sitting on my blanket, that's why it's so uneven underneath me. So after the last, first off, okay, I think it might have been day 37 or something, maybe even day 36, one of the days anyway. There was, I remember I did a fight, and then I must have like missed the other version of it, and I was like, didn't want to go back I couldn't go back and have a look at which one I'd missed, because I realised halfway through, I missed something, and then so I took a gamble and said, well, I don't think, because I think it was a Jugo versus Toby White Mask one, and I was like, I think I played as Jugo, but I didn't play as the Toby, and so that was my gamble, and I went back, and oh my god, I already knocked my controller off. Anyway, I went back, had a look, and I got it right. It was that fight that I'd missed, so I went back, because then I went back and did it in that stream, and it's great, so now I don't have to catch up on that. So that was one. Second was, excuse me, I had a look, calculated the number of fights, or basically how long is it going to take me to finish this. So previous calculations have been somewhere around I think it was originally going to be like December 2023, I was going to finish it, but then that was like way at the start when I sort of unoptimized, hadn't fully optimized how I was going to do all the fights in terms of like do I randomly generate them at the time, or do I randomly generate them beforehand? So now that I've fully optimized the fights, still making them random, of course, but also I've managed to sort of average out about 60, every calculator, I thought it was 67, it's actually 68 fights per day I managed to average out at. And so with that, taking all my calculations with my Mighty Math powers, originally I managed to get it down to, I think, October, so I managed to drop it by a couple more months. And then I've recalculated, and I'm at the end of September 2023, which is fabulous. Yeah, end of September. And that's assuming, of course, that for every single week between then and now, I'm doing roughly about 134 fights per week. So like obviously around Christmas and that sort of thing, it'll change a little bit. Oh, this is a law fight, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where to have it though, because I think they just fought in insert generic anime forest. So I might as well do that. I should probably didn't have the new forest, to be honest. But anyway, obviously around the Christmas and New Year's break, there will be, probably vacation time, so we're going to have to make up that number elsewhere. But that's very easily done, because there's a few, at least coming up now, there's a few long weekends, and I might be able to sneak in a few hours here and there in the long weekends. Which is fabulous. I mean, and I've got I've actually got a day off this upcoming Thursday. I'll only be working like 2 hours in the morning, so I was thinking probably in the early afternoon I might just probably make that stream. I'll make that stream probably, rather than 2 hours from 7 till 9, I'll probably do like 3 hours or even 4 hours from like 12 till 4. I'll see how I go. See how I go on that one. And then, because coming up in a couple of weeks is Labour weekend, and then because we're in Canterbury, Canterbury anniversary weekend is coming up too, so all that loveliness is coming up, so I'll be able to make up the time. Also, that's also assuming that every single day I'm doing 68 fights. So on the days when I'm doing like 70 or 75, then I'm already helping the cause. Look at that finish. That's a lovely finishing image. I would do it like that. Yeah, so long story short, I'm gonna see if I can push it to, if I can get it to a point where August next year, if I can pull it all the way back to August next year to finish this, that would be fantastic. I'll probably be able to recalculate like 1st of January. I'll be able to I'll be able to calculate, sorry, should I say, the remaining number of days, roughly, on average, and then divide that by 2 to bring how many weeks, and then count the number of weeks, and then see what we get. These fights so far have been very, very good to me so far. Oh, his range is so like annoying to try and get. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, you got him. Okay, that's right then. But the other thing too that I'm really curious about is, like, you know, I could probably do a study on it, maybe, or do a thesis, is how is this, when you start getting down to like the last 1,000, the last 500, you know, do you notice an overwhelming, like, there's certain characters that are just like, suddenly now I've got to do 50 fights in a row, 50 sets of fights in a row for the X number of the X character, you know, was random, is random, truly random. I mean, I'm sure it would be a very, very poor study and done better than the other scenarios, but it's interesting. Maybe it's just, you know, is the random function on Excel. The random function on Yelp, truly random. Yeah, on the food front. So, you guys, you've got to tell me if this sounds disgusting or nice, because I hope it's nice. We've tried it and it seems nice so far. So, tomorrow is the moment of truth. It is the finals of the bake-off at work, and I need to win this. Like, I need to win this. Like, this is, like, my life is on the line. I will literally die if I don't win this. Anyway, so, originally it was going to be a big cheesecake with like cool like gelatin discs and like peach, like strawberry floral arrangement with like rose wine kind of gelatin. Maybe it's really fancy. Like there's like Korean cheesecake ASMR sort of stuff that you want to see. Anyway, so then that changed to like a mini cheesecake of that, and then that changed to there was like a fancy like panna cotta mousse hazelnut ganache slice that had like 50,000 different components to it, and then I'm like, oh no, that seemed really probably too much margin for error essentially. And I'm not going to spend like $80 to have a large margin of error. So I was looking on Google, on the Google box, and I found these little like, oh goodness, galaxy cakes, mousse cakes or something. So it's basically, it's like imagine like a mallow puff, but it's like a cake mousse cake, and it's got that like mirror glaze over the top with all the fancy, cool, like really swirly colours in it. And so I looked at that, and then I looked what you have to do, and it was like a brownie disc, and then mousse on top, and then you get one of those round like those dough molds, and then you put like the mirror glaze over the top. So I'm like, oh, it seems simple-ish, but and if I pull it off, it would look amazing. So I decided that I was going to do that. So I had all the recipes, and then I was thinking, brownie with chocolate mousse. I know that there's some people in my, there's a couple of people at work who aren't big fans of chocolate, so I'm like, okay, is there can I substitute something else? And then I was thinking, okay, I'll do a strawberry mousse on top, on a brownie. And then I got to like last night, and I was thinking about it, I'm like, for some reason this brownie thing's gonna go poorly, isn't it? Just for some reason it will. So then I'm like, what's a super easy thing to make? Like a biscuit or a cake or something. And then if it all goes horribly wrong and I can't cut it into proper disc, then I can always make it with that without having to suddenly buy 50 more ingredients. Because then the other thing too is because I've got like the molds are only like probably like that big, I've got to, you know, make something and then cut the disc to be that small. Because what you're meant to do is you're meant to get your mold, you're meant to make your mousse, and put the mousse in the mold, and then you basically get a disc of mold, the brownie in this case, and you just push it down, squish it down, and then like sort of flatten it with the spatula at the top, and then you freeze that for ages until it's like rock solid, and then when it's rock solid, that's when you pour the mirror glaze over the top. So then I was thinking, oh my god, this brownie thing, what if it all goes like horribly wrong, and I've got to make another brownie? So I'm like, you know what? I made the most fantastic hokey pokey biscuit slice last weekend. No, not last weekend, a couple of weekends ago, which me and the boy just absolutely demolished. Our stomachs didn't like us that day, but I'm like, that was super quick and easy to make. So I might just do that, because then I'm thinking, you know, trying to think of the flavour combinations. I've got the strawberry mousse with a nice like caramelly kind of biscuit. That seems quite nice. It sounds quite nice, because in the mirror glaze is like condensed milk and white chocolate. So I'm like, well, there you go, strawberry and white chocolate's already a winning combination. So boom, done. So this morning, got up, went to the supermarket, made me biscuit. Have managed to get the lid of a herb shaker, cleared it all out, and then used that. As soon as the biscuit came out, I was like boom, 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 boom. Managed to get all these little cute little biscuits. They're a bit thick, so I'm just hoping that it's not too thick. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be way too thick, and there's going to be like absolutely no mousse on it at all. But then I'm going to put so put that in, fill the mousse up, put the biscuit in. So now they're in the freezer, and then later on tonight I'm going to be making the mirror glaze and putting that on. Fingers crossed it all turns out, because the problem with the mirror glaze is that the recipe they had used like gel food colouring with like fancy like galaxy purple gel food colouring. Like, I don't think we got them in it, or even if we do, it's like $50 from a specialty baking store. So I'm like, nobody got time for that. So I've just got like random, not random. Just got normal, like liquid blue and red and pink food colouring. So I'm gonna have to try and get the exact colour combination correct to make purple. Because if I can get it looking right, then oh my goodness, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win, and they're all gonna be crying because they could not hold a candle to my majesty. Probably won't go like that. I'll probably open the fridge tomorrow morning and there will just all be like a big like mess. I hope not. I've also got a really funny feeling that because I'll be using like liquid food colouring, that as soon as I like drizzle, like if I drizzle different colours onto each other to get like a kind of marbled effect, they're all going to blend in with each other as it's setting, and then it's just going to be one blob of colour. Which is great, but it's not. So I would cry. Because I'm thinking I might need to test it with like milk or something. Maybe milk's not probably the right one. Like milk with heaps of flour put into it to get to the consistency that the glaze will be. I'll need to test it out and see if I can pour it on something if the colours mix. That will probably, if anything, that will be the one thing that will end my career. Tamari and Kisame. Getting a good mix of peeps here. So that is today. So I've made the biscuit, it's in the freezer, and then I'll pull it out at like 5 o'clock or something, and then see if I'm gonna try this. Because my worry, I've got a slight worry that when I push the biscuits in, like obviously all just like mousse like splooged out the sides, which I've all like, you know, smoothed out. But I'm kind of worried that was like most of the mousse in the molds, because the molds aren't particularly big, and then, you know, there'd be my heart would sink if I pulled the molds out and it's like that much biscuit and like that much mousse on top. Because that's not what it's supposed to be. It's like, I'll be happy with like a even mix of both, even though it's actually meant to be. It's meant to be heaps of mousse and like just a base of brownie, and you know, which was meant to be brownie, but yeah. And then I think just because of the nature of the recipe of biscuit that I use, because they expanded quite a bit, so I'm just hoping I haven't shot myself in the foot by making the biscuits too big. I mean, the biscuits are delicious anyway, so it'd be a win-win either way, but my work is fickle. Any small thing, and because it's the final, knowing them, they'll be judging way more harshly. They'll be judging way more harshly than they would normally. And because one of my competitors will probably be bringing the A game as well, hopefully. And then my other hope too is that, because she also said that she was busy this weekend, so she might not actually have that much time to prepare and make her food. I'm hoping that's the case, because I mean, I've got, you know, the beauty of having no life is that you've got plenty of time for the things that you do need to do. Whole day, and then worst comes to worst, it's just a short trip to down to just get some like instant bacon. Just I'll need like a backup if it all just goes absolutely awry, and I've got to wrestle. You know, I'll figure out some instant muffin mix or something. I don't know. Maybe just biscuits with glaze on top. Right, Crocodile, thank you. Oh, got him. Lovely, that strategy never seems to fail now. Ish. With some exceptions. Lovely. So far, so good. We're just blitzing through them. Alright. Water. Better than this. That's weird. If you throw them at the ground, they'll sink into the ground. Because they must have those little things. They must have no collision or something when they're up in the air. See, more things you find out about this game. More things. Yeah. Lovely jubbly. We've got next Rin and Tamari again. I didn't need to pick that costume. Force a habit. Oh my goodness, okay. Oh yeah. We went to this restaurant last night with the boy and went to this restaurant, you know, it was a smokehouse. It had some, you know, menu, some really nice steaks. There was like a big $69 plate that we wanted. They had like all these different meats on it, so he was set. Had some lamb stuff, some really nice looking steak, so let's go. The food was actually quite decent. They gave you a hell of a lot of sides for the price, which was great. You know, like everything came with a little dish of pulled pork and garlic bread and salad and all this sort of stuff. And the meat itself, I mean, the fillet I got was the smallest steak I've ever seen in my life. It was very, very delicious though, but yeah, small steak, but oh my goodness. I've got a funny feeling because they wanted it to be like Americanized, they obviously had the tip, you know, the 15% tip. But then we realized, because we found that out when we were paying, and what was it? It was just one of the most interesting waitressing experiences we've ever had. It was yeah, so we only found out about the tipping system when we were paying, and then it kind of made sense then why we had the waitressing experience. So there was 3 main waitresses. One of them was fine, she was normal, she was, you know, you know, she was fun, she was great. One of them was the most, like, I don't even know how to describe it really, because it was, I want to say bizarre. It was, or maybe, no, maybe for the right kind of person it would have been endearing and great, but for me, the boy and a man who just, if you're being a little bit like over enthusiastic about something, like, don't be over enthusiastic with us, because, you know, don't be weird. So whenever when she brought over, you know, the food, and she'd be like, alright, so we had the eye today with the side of jumbo chips, like all this kind, like, that's how she was like saying these things, and she's like, oh, the table's getting a bit full, isn't it? Lady, what are you doing? Like, who comes over and starts talking like that as if it's suddenly like, you know, like we're at one of those restaurants that has like a $50,000 gold-plated mushroom, and you know it's a big giant spectacle that the whole restaurant gets involved in when someone purchases this $50,000 dish. I was like, lady, it's just please sit a lamb chops and a steak. But yeah, and then every time she brought a dish out, she'd be like, and here we have the lamb rack with the jumbo chips, oh my god. And it was just like, and like that's how she was saying it too. So she was a bit much. a bit much for a waitress in a why am I doing Toby? Getting confused by the colour. And then we had this other waitress who was a little bit less obnoxious in that way, but like still a little bit too over enthusiastic for the nature of things. But obviously had either done drama class at school or recently got their Christmas present was a book of witty one-liners. Of how to make witty one-liners, not realising that it's the cringe edition. Because again, it was just like a lady with the wrong crowd to be doing this too. Because they mucked up our order or something, so we ended up getting a free like 600 gram tomahawk steak and all the sides with us. So we had a hell of a lot more food than we could take. So we ended up taking, asking for a couple of boxes to take that home. And then so what we had done while they're bringing the boxes out was we just stacked all like the chips and the stuff on, stacked them all on top of each other and just to get ready to put them on the thing. So then when she comes over, she's like, hand the box and she's like, huh, Leaning Tower of Pisa? More like Leaning Tower of Carbs. And I'm just like, oh no, lady, no. What the hell was that? Oh god, it was just like, and she obviously said it and was expecting us to go, oh, tell me about it, right? But we were just like, okay. I don't think the other two heard her anyway. But she said it was just right next to me. I'm like, no. Yeah, and then she was just doing one-liners the whole time. And then there was another table of, I think, I'm assuming uni students, beside us, or sort of, to the left of where the boy and them were sitting. So the Leaning Tower of Carbs lady was taking their order. So she was explaining, and I kind of got the sense she fancied one of the guys, because she was standing just a little bit too closely to him and eyeing him a little bit too provocatively as she was explaining the order. Maybe she was just friendly. Maybe. But then when he asked what was in there was some, or maybe what was in the slaw, I think it was in the coleslaw. But then she's like, oh, it's like, it's got this and this, and cabbage, the typical rabbit food sort of stuff. And like, yeah, everyone jokes that lettuce and cabbage is rabbit food. But when you're trying to sell a product to your fine patrons at your exquisite establishment, I think the last thing you want to do is talk about your food like it's rabbit food. You feel me? Even though the salad is probably what most people don't particularly care about in terms of if it's got X, Y, and Z ingredients in it. I mean, I'm one of those people. General public not so much. But like, you wouldn't like if someone said, "Oh, what's the sauce in the steak?" It's like, oh, I don't know. We just grab whatever's in our cupboard and just chuck it together. You're not instilling much confidence in your customers, are you? Oh goodness. Yeah. So she was, and probably that just added, to, in my mind, just maybe even thinking more that she fancied this guy because. Try and make the guy laugh, and then he's yours. You've captured his heart if you can make him laugh. But oh my god, these waitresses were just like these two in particular. Oh man, bless them, bless their cotton socks, because they're obviously because the fact that the place you had to tip, or they're expecting a tip, or hoping for a tip. They were obviously being super friendly to try and, please tip us, please. But it's there's a very big difference between, and because, especially when you're in a country that doesn't tip, normally, there's, you know, trying to get people to tip would be very, 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 very difficult. Because people don't generally. You know, why should I pay extra for you to give me service that you should be giving me anyway? I know it's not like that's a very gross generalization, but you know, anyway. But it's kind of like, in my mind, there's a very big difference between being, you know, being polite and attentive and, you know, that, and then just being like, I'm going to be cracking jokes every 10 seconds because please give me a tip, please, because look at me, I'm so friendly, aren't I? I'm just so amazing and friendly. And it's just like, it just came off as so, I wonder even, I probably would go so far as to say try hard. I probably would go as far as to say that. My goodness, like lady. Anyway, the meal was lovely. I suppose all in all, the waitresses weren't horrible. The normal one I would have tipped more than the other two, but you know, each to their own, I guess. Like I said, I'm sure some customers would have absolutely been enthralled and delighted by their enthusiasm. But like for me, okay, so we went to a restaurant a few weeks ago in the town we went to. Food was absolutely amazing. We'd had a voucher for a free visit, so that's why I suppose the impetus behind us going. But we'd been curious about going since we moved. The waitress we had there is one I would have tipped. Like she, you know, very polite, polite and welcoming when we went in. She was very, very attentive to the point she like spied the dessert voucher and just gave us the dessert menu straight away because she knew what we had come there for. So she's like, you know, it wasn't the case of, oh, would you like the dessert menu? She's like, here's the dessert menus because I spied that voucher, so I thought you probably want to see the dessert menus. You know, and she was very, you know, very patient. She let us know that the food was going to be a big, a little bit of a wait. She wasn't like the kind of person who kept going past and saying, can I get you some more drink when our drinks are like halfway done. She was just lovely. She was a delight, and she knew the menu inside and out. She knew, perfect waitress. Just knew exactly what we wanted when we needed it. She could almost like read our minds. They had the timing of like when they come past and start taking plates. It's not a case of like as soon as we finished our meals, it's like, right, let's come on and clear your plate sort of thing. It was like the perfect amount of time at each set, like each stage of the dining process. And she used her eyes and could see what we were there for, and so we didn't even have to ask for the she didn't even have to ask us for the dessert menu because she used her eyes and her brain and knew that we would have wanted the dessert menu. It was just, and she wasn't like like, oh, dessert menu, like more like, desserts, more like, I don't know, cracking some jokes about desserts. I don't know, I can't even think of one off the top of my head, probably because I'd be so lame. It's just like, ladies, just slow down. Just stop. Whatever this is, just stop it. Damn. Yeah, so all in all, the meal was nice. Yeah, it was just a piece of work, let's just say. Would I go there again? most likely, probably. Actually, I would go there again. I would just be try and find out when those two waitresses don't work there. Actually, no, that's mean. That's mean. They did their jobs all well. It was just that they were just saying some cringe stuff. That was all it was. No, so they weren't bad by any stretch. Sorry, you're normally lovely when it comes to things. You're not being lovely today. Right, come on, there we go. Lovely. Right, what we've got next? B and Sasuke's off. Look at this. We're getting a diverse range of characters. This is fabulous. We had a day, was it the last day or was the day before that? We had so many different versions of Obito, it was obnoxious. So yesterday, yeah, I decided we had like some time to kill before going to the restaurant, so I'm like, play some, just find like a quick game I can just chuck on that, you know, could spend just like 20 minutes and half an hour. So I chucked on Daggerfall. So I'd got Daggerfall on Steam, and I'm like, you know what, let's just check, because I don't think I've gotten past halfway through the character creation system. So did that, and you know, got through the character creation. I had to reset because I didn't understand the background thing. I think I accidentally gave myself a rubbish background. So then, you know, started, you're in the cave. The tutorials were sweet, like they were sweet, they were wholesome. It was like, you know, here's how you move around. I'll be back in a minute to tell you about this. I love that. It's the little touches of life. And so then I like, you know, went through the first thing, and then suddenly I noticed that I'm getting the sounds of like something's attacking me and my health is going down, and I'm like, I can't see anything. At this point I didn't realise how you actually move the camera to see there's a rat. I'd actually somehow, the tutorials must be on a timer or something, because I only got the tutorial to say that, oh, through this door a big giant rat's gonna start attacking you. I didn't get that until after I'd already killed the rat, so okay, I'm already like going too far. Cutting through the game to keep up on. And so by the time I can figure out how to look down, and even like you have to like click and hold it to swing the sword, because you can swing it in different directions. Before I learned, you know, by the time I learned how to do that, there's a tiny sliver of health remaining. So that's already fun. I've got no healing items. So that was all great. And then, so they carry on through, and then, you know, I think I killed him. I killed a something. There was bat. I think I killed some bats. So I did that. And then there was an ant that killed me. And then because I hadn't made a save, that was the end of the journey. so I need to start again. And I was like, okay, this is, I'm not, you know, not that I'm not having a good time. I just think I went into it expecting Oblivion, you know, the stuff that Oblivion gives you, the quality of life, should I say. And I got the quality of life that Superman 64 gives you. Actually, no, that's bad. No, I got a quality. I'll just say I got a quality of life stuff that Oblivion. No, I didn't get the quality of life that Oblivion had. Anyway, not to say Daggerfall's an all bad game, because it's actually will be amazing. I know. So. And then, but then I was like, why are you playing the Stab version? Play the Daggerfall Unity mod. I'm like, the what? So there's like a mod that basically, there's a mod that you have to have the Steam version of the game for it to work. But it's a mod that you just run over the top, and then basically it's like, just the controls are like way better. You can just like move the camera around like you normally would be able to in a game nowadays. And it like they've built it all in Unity, so like it's obviously like you're walking around in a 3D space, but all the buildings are, you know, it's the same textures and everything, but you know, so you walk around the character, it's just like their little cardboard cutout that's spinning around to face the camera direction. But yeah, but he's played it on there, and I'm like, oh, I'll just play that. So I'm gonna restart Daggerfall, redo Daggerfall, but do the Daggerfall Unity mod, because as much as, and I know there's a lot of, purists, what I call them, purists? There's a lot of people around that are like, oh, you know, games nowadays, it's all just fancy graphics and they hadn't captured the heart of it. And I'm just like, you know what I'm all about? I'm all for about easy controls. Like, I will chuck it on easy. I'm in the easy mode. Controls that don't require too much skill and complexity to learn. I am, you know, if it's going to take me 10 years to figure out every single control, I'm kind of like, I'll get there. I'll be fine with it. But you know, give me Oblivion and Skyrim controls over Morrowind, and I'll prefer Morrowind. Like the way that old games were built, not at all to say they're bad. If I had a choice, I would prefer modern games. I prefer lovely rendered 3D models to pixel art. I'm very much that sort of person, and unapologetically so. You know, and I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, you know, if you're lovingly rendered 3D models rather than pixel art, you know, you don't appreciate true quality. You're just so like, you're just being handheld and babysat through your games. And look, if you have that opinion, that's fine. If you can back it up, even better. You know, if you can back up your opinion with, you know, with concrete reasons as to why, then all the more power to you. But I personally like my 3D rendered models and my easy moves. That's me. Because I'm not a competitive nor a ranked gamer by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't ever want to be, or claim to be. So yeah, I am good. I is good. So give me that Daggerfall Unity mod over the standard game. Because there was another game that I played where you had to like drag and hold to swing something, and I'm like, for me, because I can't, like, playing on a mouse and keyboard already, I'm struggling. Already have a better time playing on a mouse and keyboard. So, you know, control support I will love. I think the Unity mod actually comes with control support. I think. Even better. Is actually a character that I seem to like more and more and more the more I play her. Yeah, she's always been one of those characters that like I've never not enjoyed playing as Hinata. She's never like a first choice, but she's like when I do play her, I'm like, oh no, like she definitely could be. She definitely could be the first choice. Oh, the other thing too, I am getting ever closer in my hunt for Ultimate Ninja, mystical, not Ultimate Ninja, Mystical Ninja, starring Gomon. So there is a game I used to play in my youth when we had a N64 called Mystical Ninja starring Gomon. I loved that game dearly, and even now still has a special place in my heart. And I've always wanted to show the boy it, because he would be like, oh my god, seriously? Because it's polygon as hell. But I love it. I love it so much. It's fantastic. I will fight anyone who says it's a bad game. But that's it. So ever since we stopped having an N64 and stopped having that game, I've been like desperate to play it again. So I downloaded an N64 emulator and I went on and play it, but in the frame rate, as soon as you move the camera, the frame rate is just shocking, absolutely shocking. So I'm like, oh, it's almost, I mean, I finished it, but it was practically, unless you were like, I need to play this game, like, you know, it was almost unplayable. So I've been on the hunt for the cartridge because my hunt grows closer. So first of all, I have an N64, so I've step one, I have the machine I can play it on. Step two, get the cartridge. And this is where it's all falling apart, because I've been trying to have a look for the cartridge, and there's no one who's just selling the cartridge, just sort of like, here's a copy of it, take it, unless you're willing to pay, God, I think I haven't been able to find one that I could see as legit, because I don't think there were any like region locking on the N64, I'm pretty sure. Just like you've got the Jap version, then it's going to be in Japanese sort of thing. So there's that. But then step 3 is, because I'm also keen to like play it on stream as well, because I want the world to know about this game. For anyone who hasn't played it and is into like, if you're into like adventure games, if you're into like, you know, Zeldas and, I don't know, Jack and Dax, you know, anything like that, you will love it. It is just it's such a sweet game, it's such a wholesome game, it doesn't take itself too seriously, the music is incredible, the way that they do music in the dungeons is incredible, it's just, it's an absolute banger of a game. So my hunt continues once again for this cartridge, but I think, because I remember seeing it when I googled it like X number of months ago, I'm pretty sure I found it, and then when I googled it again, I couldn't find it, and then on Etsy they're like, oh, here it is, but then they're literally just selling the case, and I'm like, Like, don't just sell me the case, sell me the game. Like, goddamn. So when you type it in, like, you know, Mystical Ninja N64 NZ, all you just get is Etsy shop selling the cases. Just give me the game. So I'm thinking I might have to bite the bullet and find some kind of like dodgy site. No, not a dodgy site. A site that looks reputable. And just see if, you know, see if it's actually going to sell me a legit game. Because I'm desperate. And then getting like getting an N64 HDMI converter is easy peasy to source. So that's not the problem. It's just the game cartridge. The game cartridge is the blocker. I need it. Because then they've got fullyretro.com. I think it's an Australian store. I think it's telling me it's Australian store. But it's $71 US. No, not US. Australia was. Oh, I need to do the conversion on that. So basically, it's going to be $80 plus for one cartridge. But considering how much I love that game, it'll be a price I'm willing to pay. It'll have to be after my next paycheck though. But then, when you read the description, it's not the game. It's not a game about an evil villain steals a powerful invention and raises the undead. It's not that. That is not the game. That's the second game. That's Mystical Ninja 2. So I'm already now a bit hesitant. So I'm like, oh god, they're actually going to give me the correct game. Because Ultimate Ninja, Mystical Ninja 2 was a very different game gameplay wise. I think it was side scrolling even. And I'm like, no, I don't want that one. I just want my 3D Zelda-esque game. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I need in life. Just that. Yeah, 2D side scrolling levels is not that. But then when you look at all the pictures on it, it's the game. So unless they've just got the descriptions mixed up, because the cover and the screenshots that they're giving are correct, but everything else is wrong. So it's just it's a nightmare. But I just need to get this game. I'm desperate. My life is going to be incomplete. But then once I do get it, my life will be forever changed. Yeah. Oh, hello! Yes, 8,600 fights remaining, which is actually more now, like 8,596 fights remaining. Yes, I'm doing every single character in Ultimate Ninja 4 versus every other single character in Ultimate Ninja 4, and I'm just doing it, and I'm X number of fights through. I'm like a good 2,500 fights down. 8,600 to go, so that's what I'm doing, and I've been doing it for the past 6 months. Yeah, and the best thing about all of this too is that my reward at the end is the satisfaction to say that I've done every character versus every character in Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Just that is my prize. It's the satisfaction to know I've done it, you know, and gotten in terms of increased skill in the game, probably only about a fraction. But hey. Got to episode 12. Oh goodness, if you wanted to carry on, then you'd have about 800 episodes to go. Because it's one of the, I think people call it not beginner anime, but kind of like they call it the entry level anime. Because it's one of the entry level anime, it's got it's one of those ones with 1,000 plus episodes. It's like the One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, and Dragon Ball. They're considered the entry level ones. It's been like, it's been the, probably if anything is shaped, like, no, not shaped so much as influenced my child and teenage years more, you know, it's been Naruto. But that being said, if like I can understand when people, like when just any anime in general just doesn't do it for them, because it is a very, you know, just the nature of it, I guess. It's very if you love it, you love it. If you don't, then you never will, sort of thing. But yeah, it's just been the mainstay forever. Yeah. Yes. Oh my god. Okay. So like, and it was like one of those things where I could understand that you know, if I had played all of the other East games, I'm like, I know this would impact me more than me just having just played East 8. But that being said, I could understand the emotion behind it as well. So like, I'm so glad that you like the ending. Because I know some people said that it was like pretty like meh. Like, I know some people said like, oh, it's just you know, the highlight reel of East games, and I was like, I loved it. It was fantastic. Yeah. What's next? Sasuke, Taka, and Sasuke, Taka, and Tamari. Is it Tamari? Yes, it is. Yeah, so I think I prefer watching like either shonen or just super heavy action anime, like anime fight scenes are what I look for. So like anything that gives me good fight scenes, I'm like, yes. Yes. Yeah, the Dan, like the Dane. Is it Dan? I'm pretty sure it's Dan. Yeah, that one I was like, oh my god, it's her, holy Jesus. But yeah, and then all the others I'm like, I'm sorry that I don't know who these people are, but like, I know that if I did know, then it would be like, oh my gosh. I'm just glad that I knew at least one of them. Yeah, like it's now like having like, you know, after even just playing like going through East 9 again, just on the Nightmare mode, and then just like just what? Yeah, just know like even when what memories of Salsetta or whatever back on the PlayStation store, I'm just like, oh, I want to desperately. I want to actually go. I might even make that my next mission, because I'm very much like if I play like a couple of games of a franchise, I will probably most likely want to go back, because like I did that with Shippuden. I think we played, Dad rented out Shippuden 4 on the PS2 once, and then I just remember him playing it, so I went back and played it, and then Shippuden 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, played the whole lot, and so like, and now I'm thinking with East, I'm like, oh, I want to do it as well. Oh my goodness, I can't wait either. They're gonna be, it's gonna be so good, because I actually only played, because I'm actually doing Suikoden 3 at the moment, just on and off, and I think played 1 and 2 and 5 very like in the last year or so as well. But like, because I know when me and Dale were playing the first one, we didn't, like, we're like, oh my god, there's so many characters, what the hell is this? Oh my god, this is so cool, you got a giant ship. Not realizing that that's a staple of the series, is you get all, you know, all the Stars of Destiny. So like I made it like my mission to, I'm gonna get them all, like, even if I have to, you know, because there'll always be like those particular stars that are just how you're meant to figure out how to get them without some kind of hint or guide. Like I know that there's those like detective-y or, you know, those characters that will give you the hints. But like even then, there's some where you're like, if you never knew that you had to go to this particular spot at this particular point in time and have made sure you talk to 3 other particular people at other particular points in time, then like, it's crazy. But it's all very satisfying when you see all the stars list like fill up and you're just like, yes, I did it. And then you get like, and always it's always the true ending is always the best one by far. Come on, one question I actually do have about the other, so like all the other East games, is the gameplay in all of them, like I know like all like the first ones will be very different to like 7, 8, 9, but is the gameplay similar enough-ish, or does it kind of like, it's, you know, the earlier ones were very much like a 2D isometric or some kind of ones? So I know that there's been like, even like in Final Fantasy's and Dragon Quests, actually Dragon Quest is probably the only one that's actually stayed the most similar through every iteration actually. With the controller. There we go. Come on, baby. We'll do this now. Just reanimation one. Yes. Okay. Oh, like just add-on. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I had a feeling that the newer ones were that the newer ones, sorry, should I say, were like, everyone was saying they're like way easier than the first ones. Yeah, I might check them out. Oh, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. Yeah, because I was like, because I found with it was a similar thing with the Tales series, is that, and for, as me being me, more than anything else, it's like the later Tales games, so Arise and Berseria, were like, the combat's like, oh yeah, combat's pretty good. And then like going back and playing all the early ones, I'm like, whoa, you really gotta know what you're doing to be able to get any level of skill and damage out of this stuff. So yeah, I mean, like, I suppose having played them kind of primes me to actually check, like, actually make sure I understand what the devs are actually wanting you to do and thing. But yeah, but no, I'm definitely like, I'm really keen to make sure that I check out those earlier ones. So I'm wanting to get Memories of Salsetta on because it's on the PS Store, so I might get them. I might get it actually. I might actually get it quite soon actually, because I'm almost through my backlog of games. While I wait for games like God of War and them to come out, I've got these other ones to tie me over. But yeah, I know Origin and I almost want to say 7. I'm pretty sure I've seen 7 on the store. Yeah, Origin and Memories of Salsetta I'm probably gonna get. Yeah. Yes, yeah, no, I know. I think because there was like two, like some blonde dude and some ginger chick who were on the front cover. I'm like, that don't look like at all. I feel like I know that name as well. I feel like I've probably heard that name before. The ears kicking somewhere. I feel like I know that one. Yoshima was being a bloody chump. Oh my goodness. Stop! Oh my goodness. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I think the thing that I know is definitely the constant in these games, and what I love is how well all of the characters are done. I don't think there's been any one character, at least, I mean, and only having played 8 and 9 as well, I don't think there's been any character that I'm like, oh, this guy's dumb, oh, what the hell, or that they haven't put any effort into developing them as best as they could. Yeah. Sega, you've made me make my mind. I'll get Salsetta and Origin. I mean, I wanted to anyway. It's just one of those things that you just always have in the back of your mind, but you never actually just like do it. But like, yeah, playing 9 again is definitely, I'm like, oh, it's rekindled that desire. Ugh. Oh, it's not too bad for like 15 hours. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people. I'm just like, I get where you're coming from, but I don't agree. It's like my dad's one of them too. He's very much like action RPG. They say action RPGs should be like, they should be short because they're so, because they're action RPGs, you get so like they say, like, some people say they get like exhausted by doing action RPGs for too long, and I'm like, well, maybe you've just been playing bad action RPGs. So if the gameplay's good, then it shouldn't exhaust you playing them. Yeah. Oh, multiplayer. Thank you for a month. Thank you for the multiple playthroughs. Because is it a case of like you pick Unica on one, and then you pick Hugo on the other, or is it that there's like multiple endings or multiple paths that you can go to? Oh, sweet. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'll probably if it tends to be a like a male or female lead, I'll tend to do the woman first, and that'll be the guy, unless for like I know that there's some games where like there's the one character who's like the main crux of the plot is around them, and then the other character is kind of really intended for the second playthrough. I know that one, but if it's like a either or, take your pick, then yeah, I tend to do the female first, so oh yeah, I'll be picking her. I probably would, to be honest. I am. Yeah, because like I'd actually probably be planning on streaming or any of the ones that I play. I would probably stream, so like Silsetta as well. And then also if I pluck up the courage to do a platinum, if I try and platinum 8, I'll probably also stream that as well. I've seen when I was looking, because I've when it comes to like the opinion of games, we tend to look at like Reddit reviews rather than anything that any game journalist or whatever would put out for reasons. We tend to trust Reddit a bit more. But they were saying that for Silsetta there was something about they were comparing it to 8's like warping fast travel system. They're saying something like the crystals on the map, you had to do something, or like the way that they worked was kind of like a bit math, or there was a lot of running around initially. Yeah, I've seen the gameplay where it's it's like Imagine 8, but like the camera's all the way up here, and it looked like it looked fun to me. I mean, it's not something I'm like, oh hell nah. Yeah. Or the map 100%. Oh, is it a lot of like backtracking to get to there 100%, or there's like a lot of like niggly, tiny little corridors that you'd always miss? Or just like treasures or something that just impossible to get. Oh really? Oh, it's one of those ones, yeah. Yeah, I try and like, if I can, I'll always try and like, whenever I go to an area for the first time, I'll try and just 100% it if I can. I know that there's some things where you'll have to backtrack when you've got like a traversal item or something. Oh yeah, but I'll always try and clear it if I can. But now, like, and now I'll know to just hug the walls. Hug the walls as much as I can. would have thought they would have had, Ryan Treasure would have had a special one for each other. Maybe not. Yeah, because the one thing in 8, yeah, it was in 8. The only thing about 8 that I was like, oh, they could have done this better, was, what was it? It was like when you have to like equip the boots to double jump or equip the gloves to be able to climb things. Like you had to have them equipped, and then if you hadn't got all like heaps of slots to have all the multiple items in, you'd have to constantly keep changing them out every single time you wanted to use one. I found that, and that's why I appreciated so much in 9 that all the monsters just can all share their abilities with each other. So you're not having to constantly be switching it all the time. So it's almost like I found like with 8 and 9, they're like what I liked about 1 is what they didn't do on the other, and what I didn't like about 1, the other managed to do well. So like I found the traversal in 9 felt really good in terms of like the omnidirectional thing you could go to, but it didn't have the breadth and diversity of places you could go to that 8 had. So it was like all that sort of stuff. And then like with the raids that I just couldn't, the raids were just not my friend in 8, but then the Grimwald Noxes in 9 were great, so it's just like, it was good. Overall, it's a very good time. Yes. Oh my god, yes. Because I thought at one point, oh god, are they gonna do like, because like Yuffie and Felix together was so adorable. They were so cute. I was like, oh my god, if they like kill Felix to to have the big emotional arc, I'm gonna be so upset. But I'm so glad that they didn't. I was like, yes, thank god. Oh yeah. How did he surprise you? So kind of like it was one of the cases like when you've got like Parks and Margot and oh god, is it Iris, the little chick's name? I'm like, these peeps are gonna be I can just tell they're gonna be like the fact that they had so many characters that were something in the Chancellor and the Princess and all these sorts of like things. I'm just like, I like that. I like yeah, I almost found, I think it was it might have been during the mines thing or something, that he was just gonna suddenly double cross you, and then now he's like the big like grand schemer that everything's been orchestrated by him as well. I kind of got that impression as well, actually, now I think about it. I didn't expect the twist with yeah, I had like the exact same impression as well. I think it's the hair. I find like particularly like characters with this, like they'll always have these particular hairstyles. But I'm just like, oh gosh, here we go. But yeah, what was that? Oh shit, I can't remember the guard's name. What was his name? Oh god, what was it? It's not Shatter, or is it Shatterlard? I don't think it is. Hold on. Is it Shatterlard? Yes. I wasn't expecting the twist with him, with Shatterlard. But then I just loved it. Like, I love, like, oh, I am all for, like, the big twists in games. And I know a lot of people can't stand it when it's, you know, when they get, like, really complex and there's all these, like, thousands of little details. But I'm like, you know, when you've got a twist like that, and then you look back at, like, all of the foreshadowing, all the little details, the hints of everything, and it's just like, it was there the whole time. They were telling us the whole time that was the case. And we just never, you know, all the pieces were there. We just never knew how they fitted together. Oh, I love it. I loved it. You know, and then like, because when you think about like all the times that that they talked about the war and everything, it's you know, it's like, oh god, like technically it all makes perfect sense how it all fits together. It's just, yeah, I loved it. Oh, it was great. After this one we'll be down to 8,580. Exciting. Look, I'm so glad that one I managed to get that one off. As easy as I did. In fact, if I had to say I've learned if I've picked up any measure of skill in this game, in the fights, in all the fights that I've done, it would be depending on how someone's ultimate jutsu is triggered, the best way of being able to get it to hit, to land, picking your like openings. Lovely. Okay. So now we just update the list to 580. Gorgeous, fabulous, amazing. Right, what we've got next? Shino versus young Shino. Yes. I might actually, now that I'm thinking about the trope, doing platinums on these 8, I'm just wondering actually how many, or what trophies are there, and are there any, because I wouldn't mind I suppose I could make do with a nightmare difficulty one, which I'm pretty sure it does have, but it's just with the raids. Be with the raids is going to fall apart, I think. Should just have a look at yes. A trophy guide. Yes. So I managed to get the true ending in it, so don't have to worry about that one as much. Okay. Play the game on any difficulty option. Oh, difficulty specific? Beyond the nightmare. Oh, of course, the missable ones. Difficulty 3 out of 10. Okay, maybe I just suck. Wednesday in the game, it was possible to play on Nightmare. Okay, so I've already played on normal, so I don't need to worry about that. Wait, you have to reach the true thingy on a Nightmare difficulty? What? Really? Oh no. Oh my goodness, bruh, stop. Substitutioning, good God gracious. I'm not even trying to bother doing my ultimate this one. Beyond the nightmare. So you can choose to do this during the first years. Tire. Oh. Goodness, that's going to be an absolute mish. Oh no. Okay. Darui and Utkaba. Oh goodness, so you have to finish the game on Nightmare difficulty and reach the true ending. Because I think to reach the true ending you need... Oh, there's a certain amount of reputation points that you need, I'm pretty sure. And to get reputation points you need gifts and you need to do side quests. And the only side quest that scared me was there was one particular cave or ruin or dungeon or something where it had like these sharks. Oh goodness, controller again. Had these sharks and they just went like whoa, like went for you. That scared me very much. I was not having a good time. So this is certainly possible to complete the so it's highly recommended you do it on New Game Plus. It's possible to import map progression, recipes for meals, various other statistics can be imported. Quests and character events can be done again. Oh goodness. basically they recommend do all the quest stuff again, because then you get your you get more elixirs to increase your stuff. And then the whole thing with doing the reputation is that apparently their stats increase when they do the character events, so then adult gets those as well. Lovely. That's all good to be fun and games, isn't it? It's gonna be an absolute piece of beans. This trophy. I suppose it'll be a challenge. I need such challenge in this option. If other people can do it, then so can I. So end of the blue waves is what is it to get the so that's to get the true ending. Okay. Itachi, Katsuki, and Haku. Lovely. So there's that one. Craftsman Exceptional Service. What's that one? Cheese the rest of this fight. Come on. Ah, it's kind of hard. What's the exceptional service? Complete every custom bid request. That's fine. I can do that. Done that one. Item. It'll be the item collector, isn't it? These extra master performed 100. Oh no, that one's fine. I think I'll have gotten most of them, won't I? I'm pretty sure I've had most of them. Oh, completed all raids. There you go. That'll be the decorated defender one. That'll be the one. That will be the one. Lovely. Okay, what have we got next? next we've got Sai and come to Sage mode. Babies, lovely fight. Thank you, Sai, for a great one. Okay, hunts. The hunts is okay. What is it? Offensive cannon. You will head out to destroy the base of monsters. I don't remember that one. Huh. Come to Sage. And who was I just playing as? Sai. Yeah, so I've got a call my gamey tracker. I've got a giant spreadsheet set up of all the games I've played, all the games I have currently in progress, and then all the games that I know I want to play and I've either got, like I've got them sitting there or I need to buy them. And then I just go through, and because I know that when my backlog was huge, I had a huge backlog. I've managed to get it down to about 17 games, but I was at like 6 at one point. But like looking at the strategies that people had, they said like oftentimes like if you're, especially if you're an RPG fan, playing just like 80-hour RPG after 80-hour RPG could just get tedious and you'll just burn yourself out. So try and like, you know, maybe do a racing game and then an RPG and then a small puzzle game or something like that. So I when I decide what I'm playing next, I'll have a look at what I got in progress, is there anything I can actually finish. And then you know, is it a game I can tinker away at? Maybe do I have something on multiple platforms? So like tinker away at Pokemon while I'm also doing Baldur's Gate on the PC and also I don't know, something on the Xbox and PlayStation. So that's how I kind of like to do it. And then in terms of like what game to play next, I'll just kind of like I just look at my list and I'm just like, which one's speaking to me on a spiritual level, and I'll play that one. But when I've got like focus, I'm like, we're playing that game, which will probably be most likely the next East ones, then I'll be like, right, we're playing them next. I'll even play like Cell Setter and Origin today. Yeah. Then the other thing too that I'm like, hopefully I can like figure out a good system for on my Discord or whatever, is like, you know, like I've got the games that I want to play, and then like if someone's like, if people have those recommendations, then we like add them to like a big list. And then I don't know if like I'm not still like really doing what you can do on Discord. If there's like something like a poll system or like a voting system or just something, just to say, right, here's my list. What should I play next? And then whatever type. That will come, I think, over time. That's why I suss things out. Yeah, but I definitely made the mistake of at least trying to get through my backlog. You know, when I had all the Shippuden games, and then, you know, I've got Baldur's Gate 1, and I've got all of these like giant RPGs, and I'm just like, I played like, I think I went from Shippuden 4 straight to 5, and then from 5 straight to 1. And then, because I wanted to play it in like people say, play it in the chronological order rather than like of the games, the actual games themselves, rather than when the game was released. So I did that, but then I made the mistake of playing them all too much, and I was like, oh my goodness, like we're getting burnt out. So then I switched to, I think, Forza Horizon. Yeah. Yes, oh my god, I know exactly what you mean. Because I used to have, like, you know, I'd have Final Fantasy 14 and I'd have, you know, like Hearthstone, and back when I played League of Legends, I'd, you know, have that all on my thing. I'm like, well, those games are never going to ever come off the backlog, because I've got no, like, finish criteria for them as such, so they'll always be there, and I'm just like, oh, do I give them their own category? Do I call them like ongoing games? Like, how do I do it? And then I was thinking like, oh no, if I have too many of them, then it's going to take like 10 years for me to finish all the rest. So, but then I don't want to stop playing them, because it's just like, I know exactly what you mean about like trying to balance everything. It's the blessing and the curse of being into games. It's a blessing that you just have all this great stuff that you can play, and the curse is that there's too much good stuff. You know, you don't have enough hours in the day to get through them all. She's sweet. Oh yeah, so I had a look. Excuse me. Had a look at the trophy list for X8. I might need your help on some tips, all sorts of tips. So there is the nightmare difficulty playthrough, but then I didn't realize you have to reach the true ending on the nightmare difficulty. Because I reached the true ending on the normal difficulty one. I'm like, oh yeah. Then you have to reach it on the nightmare one, and then I'm like, oh, idiots. To realise you have to do that, because then I'm pretty sure as part of that you have to do all the side quests and things. Do you have any tips for, because also the other thing I remember, and it's more so around the end, the true ending itself, is because I just distinctly remember the last 2 boss fights. I'm pretty sure it's 2 boss fights. It's like I feel like there's like I'm pretty sure it's like a giant turtle or something. There's some giant guy with a shell, and then there was another one as well. I just remember them being awfully difficult, and because just how it's all structured, it doesn't actually give you, like, you can't restock anything beforehand. You can farm like fruit and whatever in the from the enemies in that final dungeon, but you can't actually go back to your village and say yeah, do whatever. Yeah, I need to go back and check, because I'm pretty sure Adol was at least in the 80s, I want to say, when I finished that game. But I might do that. I might just go back and max level everything. But I think I also, if I recall, weapons don't come on, so there's no point. I mean, I think my weapons were all pretty decent anyway. Oh no, I don't. I don't believe so. Oh, do they give you a whole bunch of Tempest elixirs? Oh, that would be good, actually. Yeah, that actually might be good. Oh, 15! Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, did I? Now that I think about it, did I already claim that? I'll have to check. It's been a couple of years. It's Fu and Kimimaro. Yeah, I'll make sure. Like, I'll jump on my save file and like make sure that I've got everything sussed. Everything's all in order. Shippuden. Oh, of course, yeah. Those others, their armor looks sick. Is that meant to be, and I only say that just from the design of it, is that second one, is that like from a previous game? Because I get the feeling just from the design of it, like that strikes me as like 80s RPG. Like, that's like a Dragon Quest thing. Yeah, I thought so, yeah. That looks sick. And is it, I'm guessing those are like just the PC, like those are PC mods. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, what am I saying? Of course they'll be. Because I would get, because that's the other thing, in terms of like where I'm playing these. So like on Solceta and Origin, I'll be playing on the, I'll get them on the PS4. Can you get all of the rest? Can you get like 1 and 2 and whatever all on, are they all on Steam or PC of some kind? Sweet. Okay, fabulous. Because that was my one thing. I'm like, oh beans, do I have to wish I had earlier consoles? That's right, that's the one, yeah. I hope Falcom's just like, yo, you know what? Or like, you know, when East 10 comes out and then they have like, you know, the West, they release in the West and it gets lots of sales because it should get lots of sales, and then they're like, maybe we should release number 5. Give it an English translation. Because wasn't that the one that you wasn't that the one that you got the fan translation for? Kakashi and Young Naruto. Oh really? I could just, oh jeez. Well, that'll be why, so because it was such a disaster, they're like, oh, can't spend any more money on this, trying to re-release it. Oh really? Oh, she's got the bouncing and everything's just completely wrong. Fair enough. I'm just glad then, because I mean, like, you see, like nowadays, you know, if that sort of thing happened with, I mean, well, we almost saw it with Cyber in a way. And thank God that that's got that second win. But like it's you know, if like disaster releases of games now can like end series like completely. But I'm just so glad that it's had like a you know, that he's had that revival, you know, carried on, you know, didn't stop, and then because otherwise we wouldn't have had the majesty that is, well, at least for me anyway. I would never have been introduced to it. So I know they did a similar thing. Well, I don't actually know the history behind the break. I know with Fire Emblem it was a very similar thing. Like Fire Emblem Awakening was meant to be the revival of the series. It was, you know, like please can the series, you know, carry on, and then because Awakening did so well, they're like, oh yay, great, let's carry on, let's do more of this. Yeah. Yeah, they're probably like after that release they would have gone back to the drawing board and been like, right, what do we not need to do next time? And they would have like agonized over the next one and been like, please, like, give them the green light to do the next one, but like you can't screw it up again, you know. And they would have just taken their time and made sure, and especially because I know Japanese companies as well do take their time if they need to, which I always love their effort. Yeah, so I think then what I might do is Salsetta and Origin I'll get on the PS4, PS5, and then all the rest I'll get on Steam. I think that's what I'll do. I might need to, I'll probably get a couple, and then depending on how much they are, I'll probably need to wait for my next paycheck, which will be in approximately, how many days? So what's the date? 16th. 2 weeks. And then I'll get the rest. And then I'll be all stocked up to last me through, because then God of War, oh god, when God of War comes out it's going to be a mish trying to play it with the boy. Because the boy's going to be wanting to play it all the time. I'm going to try and find breaks. Right, after this I'll do 2 more fights, and then that will probably be it. It's just so weird that there's like a 13-year-old boy that does that. Oh dear. Japan never change. Right, last 2 fights. We've got Mifune and Nagato. see that messes into the hell of a bunch. Wait. Okay, last fight coming in. There we go, love. Oh, good. Didn't realise it did that, does that. Oh, that's easy. Lovely. Jubbly, jubbly. Right. Okay, let's update the list. So we're down to... what are we down to? 560. So we managed to do 70 fights today, which is lovely. Oh my god, excuse me. Anyway, so that brings day 39 to a close. Next week, day 40 will probably be because I'm not working, probably a good 3 hours? Be 3 hours, possibly 4, maybe even 3.5. We'll see how I go. And it'll be, rather than late at night, then it'll be early in the afternoon, probably around this time. And yeah, and then day 41 will be normal, and then Friday and Saturday will be, well, Friday will be East 9, trying to get the platinum, and then if I don't get it on Friday, then it will be Saturday. But if I do, then Saturday will be something. I'll decide when I get there. I might even be East Origin or Cell Setter, one of the two. Because now I'm just like, now I think I'm in that zone, so I'm just like, I want to play them now. I know that I've always wanted to, but now I'm gonna, like, yeah, just do it. But anyway, thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a fabulous morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you is in the world today. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one, and bye.